Good morning. It has been quite a while since I have done a video, but it's been quite a while since I've actually been doing anything worth videotaping. I have gotten a couple knives done and that kind of thing, but you guys have seen that. Anyway, I've got an interesting day. So I've agreed to help some friends, and I have to let you go. Alright, we were interrupted. But I had to take a phone call from the editor of Technologies for Worship magazine, Michelle. I have a light demo this afternoon by not necessarily a newer company, but it's newer to my knowledge, and it's based here in the Portland area. It's called Luxian. So I'll be shooting that, and you guys will be the first to see it. And I will probably be writing a review for Technologies for Worship magazine about that fixture, so stand by for that. Anyway, I have to help out with Vacation Bible School this morning. I will not be shooting that, just for privacy reasons and kids and all that. So I will see you afterwards. I'm still in costume. We're not done yet. That's what I'm wearing, and this is what I'm doing now. Is running this SI Expression 1, and this is the room. Almost done, another 20 minutes or so. Alright, we're done with VBS, and I am on the way to the light demo. We're going to have it at my old church. It's a nice big open space, and those of you who have been watching the channel for a while, you've seen it. I have shown it to you in one of my last video, in a previous video. So I'm going to grab some lunch. I've got about 40 minutes before the demo, so I'm going to grab some lunch, and if I have time before the guys get there, then I'll show you the church again and just kind of show you the space that we're going to be residing in. The room is octagonal, and it's 100 feet across in all directions. So, I'm going to be seeing how well it performs shooting across opposite walls. I'm going to be shooting it down from kind of an ideal mounting height, that kind of thing. Just kind of, I want to see the beam spread. I want to see the intensity. They told me yesterday when I was talking with them that they have the most lumens per watt in their LED system, which is great, but if your wattage isn't very high, then that doesn't really matter. So, and ultimately, it's all about how much luminosity or luminous intensity we're getting on target, as it were. So, that is going to be coming your way very shortly. We'll see you there. All right, I'm here at the church. I'm trying to find a garbage can right now. I think I know where one is. So once I throw my drink away. Goodness gracious. It should not be this difficult to find a trash can. Honestly. There we go. Alright. Now I can show you the space real quick. So this is the sanctuary. As you can tell, it's pretty large. So from here to there is 100 feet from the wall that's right behind me. So what I'm intending to do, at some point they've told me they're going to let me bid on upgrading the lighting here. And I'd like to drop all the chandeliers, but they've got lighting all over the place. I'd like to consolidate that a little bit. The lights up there don't even work anymore. So we're definitely going to go all LED, and we're going to update the control as well, and just have a grand old time. So now we wait for the guys to get here with the lights.
A different combination of
So, okay.
colors even getting white. And that's why we're able to get such good colors.
So there's, what's that? That's probably a cool, warmer white there. with
Yeah.
Red and some green in it. I don't have a good, this wall isn't probably the best reflector, but. And a gray. So wide diffusion, this is probably a 20-degree beam here.
Sure.
But with the Bluetooth, we can show like a 3,000 Kelvin or a 4,000.
This is kind of a setup screen. So this is where you find your light and pair up to it. I just paired up to this device here. So let me delete it and we'll go back. Okay, so this is showing me I've got a group. This is my home setup. So I got a light at my desk and a light in my kitchen, independent groups. Now let's go see if we got another light in the area. Okay, there it is. So that light is right over there. Hasn't
Right.
been paired with anything yet.
There.
So if I select it and then say add, I can add it to an existing group
Got it.
or I can create a new group for it. Now I just created the new group and now I can go back. There it showed up. I haven't named it yet.
Sure.
But if I turn it on, now I'm controlling that light with my color wheel. So if you want to,
Yeah, there you go.
so I got full range control and I can change my hue a little bit with adding white into it so it's not as
I'm going to
saturated.
bring the light closer. So,
Yeah, and I can dim down to 0.1%. So it's really good dimming range.
Yeah.
No flickering.
And if I say, boy, I kind of like that color there, let's save that. So save it, and now when I turn the light back on, off and back on, it'll remember that setting and it'll come back on at that point.
Sure.
So that's kind of the basic interface.
Do you have the ability to set up your own custom, like, color chips, if you will?
Yep, so I'll show you that page next. So this is a little more advanced. So now I can say slider control just like a DMX panel, and it's four sliders. So now I can dial in my favorite color, and I can say, okay, make it go there. So now the color I just made is saved there.
Okay.
So when I come back, I can
Pick up.
move things around, or I can come back to it.
Got it.
And I can also save it like I did before. So now that'll save at startup.
And we also have some prearranged colors that we've set up. So, for example, a T-Mobile color.
You didn't hit it. There you go. So these are canned, like a Roscoe color chart type of colors.
Sure.
So that'd be like Bastard Amber there.
Mhm.
And all your kind of primaries.
This camera
So-
does such a horrible job of showing the actual saturation.
Yeah. So now, okay, so that's great. You've showed me all your color stuff. What about white? Okay, so now I've got some preset whites. So I can go to a color temperature that's preset into there. Or I got this other panel here. Now these are calibrated CCTs at very specific color temperatures within a couple degrees of the black body curve. So this is what you'd want in your gallery,
Right.
And it goes, from a really warm to really cool with steps in between. And this gives you that full ability to dial in a calibrated high CRI white temperature.
Got it.
And then I get full brightness control.
And this is really important
that.
for photographers, video photographers, when they want to have exactly, set the lights up for what they're shooting and
Right.
so on.
Yeah. And it's a 2400 hertz PWM, so you shouldn't see any flicker on your video. I don't know if you're seeing it.
Nope.
Hopefully you're not.
It's nice and clean. So PWM is pulse width modulation, for those of you that are not familiar with that term, and that is the correct way of dimming LEDs,
Yeah.
not by voltage.
Okay, so now go to the next level of sophistication here. So now I've turned on the DMX from that previous screen, and now this is a dip switch. So now I can set addresses. So DMX address 010 is now set for that light, and it's in DMX mode. Your control panel would find that light and be able to control it. And the switching back and forth happens, if I go here, happens there. So it can switch back and forth to DMX. There's no indicator on here. I guess that's an app thing we got to change. That when you're in DMX mode, it tells you, okay, DMX has got control. And then when you push one of these buttons, you're back into Bluetooth control.
Sure.
So that gives it over to the DMX side. So now you see it's turned. Okay. Another thing, kind of this is the fun part, sequencing. So I don't know if Tom, you might have showed him this already, but there's pre-programmed sequences. So it'll go through a cycle repeatedly of predefined colors. So that's a sequencer mode. So that's the whole app. So there's a lot of functionality.
Yeah.
For just about any kind of situation.
Totally. All right, sorry I didn't show you more, but most of it was actually just talking. So, just some thoughts while they're fresh in my head. These are not large fixtures, so if you're used to theatrical grade, well, not grade, but theatrical size fixtures, this is not what these are. However, for their size, they produce an incredible amount of light, and not just an incredible amount of light, not just the luminous intensity, but the color saturation is amazing. It's some of the most intense saturation I've seen, especially in fixtures in that form factor. So what we're going to do is we talked a lot about this particular environment, and just to remind you what it looks like in here, we talked a lot about what we could do in replacing chandeliers or retrofitting them. What I would prefer to do is take all the chandeliers down and mount the new fixtures directly to the beams where they need to be. And that would give me, I'm on a really squeaky pew. That would give me the ability to blend and aim each individual fixture to its optimum location. Not sure they're gonna go for that, but it's a balance of, it's a trade-off, or a balance of trade-offs, a trade-off of balance, I don't know. However you want to think of it. So either they get a really, really nice even light in here that's really bright, but they lose out on the aesthetic value of it because I can't hide every single light behind a beam. Or we don't get as good a balance or a good a blend or as bright in here, but aesthetically it looks a lot better. So they're going to have to tell me what the priority is, and I mean the church here. But we talked about me becoming a dealer. We talked about doing volume orders, what their lead time was, what we could do moving forward. So what they're going to do is we're waiting for them to kind of get a production model of a prototype that they're working on right now, and we're going to put 3 of the smaller LEDs here. So let me see if I turn this around and I zoom in. I gotta do this backwards here. So you can see that in the middle, right to there, that's a downlight, and then above that is 6 A19 screw-in lamps. So we want to do 3 of their smaller LEDs and then one of the big ones that they're working on right now, the prototype, for that downlight. And by their estimation, that would give me 7,500 lumens. Wow, that's really zoomed in. There we go. Okay, sorry. by their estimation, that would give me 7,500 lumens of light. The problem that I have is those smaller bulbs are so far up inside that I'm not really sure they're going to give me a lot of side lighting. And in a space this, wide open, I need as much light to go out as I need to go down. So I don't know. Well, we're not really going to know for sure until we give it a try. So that is the next steps. So that'll probably happen in a couple weeks. And, I'll bring you guys along for that. We did talk about me doing a review for Technologies for Worship magazine. So if you haven't subscribed to that magazine, you really should. It's free here in the U.S., so there's no excuse for you not to, really. tfwm.com, and you just follow the prompts from there. It's a great magazine filled with good information. I'll be a regular columnist in there starting July issue, I believe. So, Church Production Magazine is another good one. Those two I subscribe to, and there's a couple others that I get, but they're not specifically for church tech. So I subscribe to them just because I like to know what the industry is kind of up to and what technology is out on tours and in commercial installations that may filter down into churches in terms of either need or requests that come into me. So anyway, that is going to be it for today. I'm just going to head on home and get working on website stuff. So yeah, thanks for coming along. Again, sorry I didn't shoot more, but there'll be more coming, especially if I end up becoming a dealer for them, which at this point is pretty likely. Oh, right, I did want to share with you. So their approach is kind of what I've seen in smaller manufacturers when they're getting their start, and that is they focus on getting a really tight, narrow beam, and that produces quite a bit of light. The problem is once you put a diffuser, which they do include to give you a much wider beam angle. So I think natively it's 20 degrees, so if you want to get 50 or 60 degrees, traditionally you put a diffuser on and it cuts down the luminous intensity really severely, like 40 or 50%. These guys, their diffusers are like, you lose about 5%. So while that may not sound bad, when you have 3,000 lumens to start with, 5% of that is going to be 150 lumens, and if I'm doing my math correctly, I don't know, you guys check me on that. But, at that point, every lumen counts. So they're working on brighter fixtures, something in the 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 lumen range. And I'm going to be really, really interested in that because these guys, their price point is pretty competitive. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you just so that you understand what these things are really designed for. They kind of got their start working in church theaters. The guy who started the company actually worked for Tektronix and in Focus. He developed a whole bunch of new technologies. So he developed the first color projector, let's say. He developed the first light that doctors and medical professionals use to, look inside of colons, that kind of thing. So he understands light. So, and he's at the helm of this company. So I'm sure I'll get to meet him at some point. Might be kind of fun to do an interview with him, just kind of pick his brain and see where he sees the industry going and that kind of thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, comment below. And I'm usually pretty timely about getting back to those. So, and if this is the first time you've been watching one of these videos, please go look at the other ones. There's lots to choose from. And especially the Hangouts on Air, there's a lot of good information there. So be sure to like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing and you want to be updated when I upload new stuff. Talk to you later.